Welcome to the Morning Blessings. I am Tessa-Marie. It is a pleasure to have you here with us today. Today is Friday, June 28, 2024. Good morning, Colin. You're fired up and ready to go. Hello, Stacy. How are you wonderful ladies doing this morning? I am wearing my Canada, not colors, Colin. Recognize my t-shirt? Hello, Ryan. How are you this morning? Welcome to the Morning Blessing. It is the 28th of June, and it is not as hot as it could be, but here we are. So wonderful people, I'm wearing my Canada colors today. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Enough of that chit chat. Let's get the show on the road, people. It's 8 o'clock. Time. The unrenewable resource. Okay, we can't get it back. It doesn't come back. All we have is now. And that's all we have. So this came up because I have a short that I did. I think it's last year. Hi, Lynn. Good morning. And on the short, I talked about the importance of being on time. And it was about employment, going for an interview. And I said that if you have an interview, it's good to get to, hi, good morning, you go to the interview 15 minutes earlier to the interview for a job. So that means in the first 15 minutes when you get there, you don't go right to the reception. You find out, hi, morning, Loretta, where the washroom is. You take a stop there. That might take 3 to 5 minutes. You walk to find where you have to go, another 1 or 2 minutes. You get there, and by then you have 7 minutes left. Something like that, or maybe you have maybe 9 minutes left. They ask you to wait, and of course they're going to say to the person you're going to interview is here already. And that is important. I'll tell you why I know for sure it's important. Because you see, when you going to get a job, you're going to get a career move, you want to see the lay of the land. What happens in the back office is really a reflection of what happens at the front desk, at the reception desk. Because if that area is in a turmoil and the greeting you receive from that receptionist was like, okay, have a seat, there you go. You can imagine what is happening where no public eyes can be seen. So that's why you get a feel for what you're entering. You might be offered the job, but you could turn around and say, I don't want the job because of the energy you get. If you're into energy, it's very important for you to tap into energy when you enter places. It's important because sometimes those energies you shouldn't be there. It doesn't jive. You ever heard people say, oh God, it made my skin crawl? Oh, I just didn't feel it. All of that, you might say it, but that is where the universe, your guardian angel, God, everybody's tapping you. Hey, get into the now. Notice what's going on here. Is that the team you want to be on? And if you do not pay attention to those little hints, sometimes you live to regret it. A lot of times you live to regret it. So anyway, so let us look at, so this person said, 15 minutes late is acceptable. I don't think they got the gist of the topic. So then she said, if I go 15 minutes early, the hostess, I'm going and the hostess isn't ready for me for dinner, for going to dinner. So common sense is not as common as we think it is. Common sense you have to balance. So the hostess invite you for dinner at 8. Is it okay to show up at 8:15? It's most certainly not. Is it okay to show up at 7:45? Not. It's not right either. But the hostess said 8 o'clock. So the hostess should be ready for 7:45. You see, so that if there is any little hiccup, I was going to have a coaching session with Ryan, and no matter what I did, the computer was not responding, Wi-Fi was not hooking up. It's not the computer, the Wi-Fi was doing its own thing. Then Zoom decided it wasn't going to do anything, so I guess it was affecting it. And it was like 8 minutes, I couldn't get it to go. Then it was just one of those things. Although I start earlier, I always come here at 1 minute to. I always start any of my Zoom calls, as Yuko will tell you, 3-4 minutes before, because I realize technology can do what it wants. But this person said 15 minutes late is acceptable. So now, you guys know, I take it from I say mystical. I take it from a energy conscious. Hi Nancy, good morning. I take it from a type of spiritual type of thing. It's not really spiritual, but it's the thing about, there's so many parts of being on time that's important. You respect the person that you're going to deal with. You respect the energy that you pull. So for example, you have an appointment, and we have so many lovely examples for that. Maya Angelou told us that when she's going for an appointment, an interview, she brings the whole ancestors with her. The people who love her the most, she calls on their energy to be with me. And she always says, I come as one and I stand as 10,000. And she also said, I have never failed when I do this. So I am a person that respects the advice from wisdom. I do not know everything. I do not purport to know everything. But what I do know well and very good about, because I was trained, good morning Georgie, is how to turn $1 into a lot of dollars. I do know that. I had it from ground, knee high to a grasshopper, and I continued, and then one of my careers was in the bank, one of my careers. So that just propelled me. Then I see the result. But one thing I do know for sure, when you say you will do something, you invite this person at 7:45 for 8 o'clock dinner, you, the host, should also be ready for 7:45, just in case the oven is not working right. Just in case something didn't rise, the cake didn't rise, just in case something didn't work. You come early, you say, I'm leaving my home to go for this interview, I'm 15 minutes early. Maybe you don't know the traffic ahead. But this person said she was taught for manners, be 15 minutes late. You cannot fight that, can you? I said to her, you know what, this requires a lot bigger explanation. The thing about opening that mouth of ours and using that tongue to say, okay, I will meet you at the restaurant, friend, at 8 o'clock. Have you been on the end of that? 7 o'clock, you're sitting at the restaurant, 7:45, your friend strolls in. And that's how they never come in. Okay, some of them do. But most of them come in exhausted. They've been rushing. They realize the time. Rushing. You want to see what rushing can do to a human being? Ride a subway one day. And look at those people that get stuck between the subway doors as they're closing. If the door did not see the human or feel the human, it would just take them with it. They're rushing. So if you want to go further, you really have to go slower. You have to prepare for the entrance you want to make. Because time is not coming back. If you open that tongue, like I just was going to continue with it, and you say to that tongue, I'll be there. The moment you say that, whatever energy loves you enough to show up, to guide you, to help you, to let you see what you cannot see, to let you feel what you're not able to feel, to let you be able to touch the right thing, to get the right vibration, so you can continue to live your fulfilled life. So they show up. The ancestors tell us that when they come and the receiver is not there, they do not hang around, because they too need to manage time. They too have somewhere else to be. They too have somebody who said, meet me in 5 minutes from your 5 minutes. So apparently, that is why they pick up what it is was your gift and they hand it to somebody else. It mightn't be your talent. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is that gift you've got, that thing you want, that desire you've been pushing for. And you're wondering, why is it stumbling and it's rolling away? Nowadays I catch it, then 2 minutes later I don't get it. it's like wanting to make money. So you make it this week and you're not making it, and it just goes like that, you know? What's your habit? Watch how you perceive things. What you did to bring it in, are you still doing it? So it affects everything in our life. You decide you're going to go to bed earlier. You decide you're going to eat at this time so you don't carry it with you. Hi, Divine. And so you continue. But what you must remember for sure is that time is a non-renewable resource. You don't get more time. That's why being on time or being a little bit earlier, you're telling the energy, you're telling what you believe, the God you trust to bless you with all your dreams, goals, and desires, the universe, the energy, whoever. You're going to sit and you're going to wait, aren't you? You're going to sit down and you're going to wait for it to come to you. Good morning. The thing is, though, if you do not sit and wait for it to come to you, it will not, and you are not there, it cannot wait for you, because time waits for no man. They said time and tide, the tide of the ocean, it waits for no man. So all of that, and yet 15 minutes late for an appointment is okay. No, it's not. So I said that I know that for sure. I had a young man working for me. His name was Emmanuel Wanzama. I knew of him when I was a planner at another branch, and he was a teller, young, slender, good-looking, educated young man. He was when he graduated, he became a teller. No, that's okay. That is you didn't do it. Instagram has a thing going. Hi, Rita. Good morning. So, Emmanuel was there, and there was a young lady, and she was an FSR, and she said, when I left and went to that branch, she said, why don't you hire Emmanuel? I said, sure. I needed somebody for that, so I hired Emmanuel. Emmanuel he always looked like he stepped out of Vogue. He was always impeccably dressed. But sometimes we forget the importance of a shoe shine. Sometimes we forget the importance of a scuff shoe. Sometimes we forget the importance of a shoe that the heel has gone. So that and a lovely outfit doesn't match. But it was all the guys. I had a team of more men than I could think of. I had Jay, I had Andrew, I had Kevin, I had Reza, I had Emmanuel, and there was so many men, and just maybe 3 women. So anyway, I went and I bought a can of brown shoe polish, a big one, and white and black shoe polish. I have it in my drawer because I just couldn't stand those dirty shoes. So anyway, they started polishing the shoes, and then sometimes the tie would have, and I said, you guys, this is disgusting. So everybody was like that. The one that took onto it like a water lily to a pond was Kevin Johnson. Kevin was all of a sudden from flop shirts. No. So anyway, Kevin went for an interview. And when he was going, we talked about it. He said to me, I said, fine. I said, Kevin, make sure you're on time, because sometimes you're not on time. So anyway, he said, yeah. And he went. And Kevin was late. And you know what they told him? He lost that first job, because they said to him, Kevin, you want to be an investment person in the stock area. You can't be late. If you are late in pushing that button, your client's deal will not go through. And they did not give him the job because of that. Hi, Kimberly, good morning. So he came back and he told me why. I said, Kevin, I warned you. So, of course, he got another chance about 6 months later, and he got the job. Emmanuel came in tears because he was leaving the bank to tell me he was going to he was applying for another job. I said, sure. And he said, what do you have to say? I said, Emmanuel, be on time and please dress decently. He always did, but just stay on there. So he went. His interview was in a circle. So he was like a half-moon circle. So he was there, and there were 3 people. Again, it was investment. So he got the job, and he came back again crying. I got the job. Sorry, I have to leave you. I said, fine. Then he said, can I tell you what they told me when they gave me the job? He said, they said, They observed me in the reception area when I came. I was 15 minutes early. And I sat and I just kept reading the book, and they saw that. At the interview, one of the men said, there were people we interviewed with more, same qualification, but more experience than you. The one thing they were late. Hi Ezra, good morning, long time no see. They were late, or they come rushing, they look hot and bothered. And another thing is, their socks and their shoe, it was, because you see, when you sit, your pants goes up. And they told him, that's why we gave you the job. Number one, you were early. And number two, you presented yourself by how you looked and how you dressed for that interview. Not because you had more experience. We figure if you can do that, we can train you. The time is important. If something was wrong and he had that 15 minutes, he could maybe fix it in the washroom. So when we talk about time, it's important that you realize you cannot renew it. You cannot go back and say, I want that time I lost back. It's important, even when you're going to the doctor and everybody knows you are late. They're late. They're always running behind. That is not an excuse for you to show up late. Saying, even if I go, the doctor will be late. That is wrong. You have to believe that you are going on your time. That is why I said yesterday, if you make an agreement, you need to honor it. It's up to each person to honor their part of the agreement. If the doctor is overbooked and he's running late, that is not your excuse to behave like them. It's not an excuse for you to take that type of attitude. And you have to see, how has that served them? How many people in that room, what type of energy is in that waiting room? People are frustrated and you can see it on their faces, their body language. Who wants to be caught like that? So and then he rushes everybody. So the reputation goes down the drain. We cannot go downtown tomorrow morning and request the time we had at 8 o'clock. It's 16 minutes past 8. So time is important. If you know you have something to do at a certain time, make arrangements to get there in time. If you're so early and you cannot go into your friend's house, then leave enough time. If you believe your friend invites you for 8 o'clock dinner and you show up at 8:15 and that is acceptable, it's not. You throw everybody off. I have had that for Christmas dinners. Sometimes they don't get there on time. Ezra can attest to that. And it just throws everybody off. Even if that person is just getting dressed right in the same house with you, it still throws the energy off. Time is the one thing that takes us to where we desire to be, on time. But we have to show up for ourselves. We have to if you make a commitment to do something at a certain time, look at your commitment. Look at your calendar. And if something comes up, shift it. Do not let your frustration go on that person's neck. Because sometimes people cannot take that. Because you have an appointment at a certain time and something comes up, it's an emergency. It's not an anger session. It's not a frustrated session. You do that when you are fearful. Just pick up the phone and say, hey, this is what has happened. I'm sorry. Because that person is already all gung-ho to be with you and you're not part of the team. And if you're not on the same time with those you want to communicate with, emotional time, the space in time. Remember we talk about the gap? From there to here, there is a gap. All the miracles of life happens in the gap. From the moment to the next moment, there is a gap. And I don't know why, but there is a gap. And it's in the gap, things get clear. It's in the gap, the time happens. If you do not have the time to get into the gap, what you're going to do, you're going to jump. You're rushing. The gap is there. Normally, if you're on time, you can go through the gap and come out on the other side ready. But if you're not on time, you're jumping into the gap and you're not ready. You're frustrated, you're rushing, you're angry. You know that. Try driving and saying that the traffic is going to be in my favor today. Yes, it will, providing you are giving yourself sufficient time to get there. But if you are running away from time because you let it take off and you're trying to catch it and you're going in a different direction to it, you're not going to make it. Another important time allotment is the morning time. One of the things I know for sure, if you have the ability to wake up earlier so that you have the time to prepare for the day ahead of you, then make sure you do this. If you notice that the time that you're waking is helping you because you're now waking up 1 hour earlier than you did before, and there's changes and you can see things are getting clear in your life, that is not the time to stop getting up at that time. Time is one of the most miraculous and magical things in our life, being on time. Why is it necessary to be on time? It's because in that moment, you can capture that little inspiration that came. And it came in time. But you know for sure you should always have something to note your inspiration every time. But when you say to that little inspiration, oh, I'll write it down as soon as I'm done with that, have you noticed you don't write it down? Because you did not remember it. So everything deals in seconds, nanoseconds, that little time you have. The difference of being on time and being too early and believing it's good etiquette to be 15 minutes late is crazy. Besides losing the energy of the day, it is crazy. If you want to receive something and the giver is waiting for you, think. You know for sure you are asking God for something. You're praying. I want to be this. I want to have a car. I want to have a house. I want to be debt free. I want to be a multimillionaire. Are you consistently giving yourself time to visualize it? Visualization requires time, not a lot of time. You don't even have to do more than 10 minutes, but it is so difficult to stick on 1 minute. 1 minute of visualization. If you can conquer that, the world is yours. And to feel and put every energy you have in that minute of time. Although your goal is to get to 10 minutes, but you notice now that you're at 5, things are getting better, so you stop visualizing. The minute you stop putting time into what it is you desire to be, it will stop being. If you notice you do certain things for your job, if you're an entrepreneur or what you're doing, and you do it at that time, and then it's always working, and one day you say, you know what, I'm going to leave it alone. And then you get into the habit of leaving it alone, not doing it, and you notice nothing is working. It's, as I said, it's like the weight program. It's like the debt paying program. It's like the accumulation of wealth. You were working, you were diligent, you woke up, you put all your energy into what it is you have to do. And that is important. So time is something you cannot buy. I cannot give you my time. And when time is so common, they died before their time. No, there's no such thing. Because we do not have 10 times to die. So never say that. It makes no sense. Think about it. How do you know they died before their time to die? You see how we use the word crazily? We have to remember that. That person died when they were in the time they were supposed to die. That's the time. It's not important though. What is important for you at that time? When that person that you said died before their time, when you crossed their path and you had those times with them, were they good times? Were they memorable? Are you going to make them into a saint now that they have died? Again, in this moment, you're saying all the good things. When you had the time, the opportunity in time to say, I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I wanted to tell you thank you for being you. You had those moments in time. But now they're gone. I wish I had told them, I wish I had showed up. I wish I wasn't so unkind. I wish I wasn't so rude. I wish I wasn't. All of these wishes just end up in a fairy tale. So you might as well write a story and call it My Fairy Tale of Wishing. That is why time is important. This is why you wake up early, so you can have the time to start your day according to your plan. If you go to bed late, that is no excuse for not honoring the time you created. As you know, to win, you have to be up. There is a lady that says she got 5, I don't know, Yuko knows it. She goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. When the alarm goes on, you set a time and you're not honoring that time. And then all of a sudden, everything you do that day is going downhill. How do you feel about that? And do you ever remember, you know what? I wanted to get up at 6 and I got up at 7. Do you remember? It's because of you not honoring the agreement you made with yourself that you're in that mess. No, we don't. We just get into the tailspin and we keep going and we keep going like this. So that is why it's important for time. And I'm very sorry for that person that said that 15 minutes late is acceptable. It is disgusting. It is disrespectful. You're making that person you're telling them you're not worthy of my time. Shoving somebody off because you're having stress in your life is not worthy either of their time. So we have to realize if you cannot make a commitment, let them know before. But coming there late because you think it's fashionable to be late. No, it's not. Try it at church. Every eye turn, not to look at your wonderful outfit, but to wonder why you're walking in the middle of the sermon. In the Catholic Church, they ask you to wait until the sermon is over before you walk in, if you're late. Maybe it's changed now. People just come in any old time because nobody respects time. You never see, have you ever been to a church or synagogue or mosque or one of those things and the service is supposed to start at 9? Do you see them hanging around waiting for people to come in before they start? Not where I go. The priest comes in and they ring the bell and he starts. There's one person in the pew, well, that's it. He is supposed to be there at 9. There's so many examples we have to follow. Of course, I've also been taken to a church where they would wait for the crowd to come in before they speak. So what are you doing this for? The same thing that those of us that do social media, you have one person on, and I have heard them say, and that just turns me off. I go home. I turn it off. Oh, let us wait until a few more people come on. Come on. Who are you doing it for? You're doing it because you feel you have something to give. So you give it. Many are called, few are chosen. If they're supposed to be there to receive, then it's up to you, the giver, to show up at the time they said they would be there and give. Those who catches the early worm, the early bird catches the worms, it's literally true. So all of that has to be with time. So choose. I'm not saying how I believe about time is right. It's right for me. I love to honor time. I love to look at my day and see how I spent my time. I like doing this. And I'm not saying you should not go on social media and scroll. Of course, that's how you will learn some things. That's how many of you found me. But it should not be all you do. You have to get up and you have to move And you have to do it because it's your time. You know, some husbands and wives that are here, people with spouses or have had spouses, whatever. You know when that happens, that you just cannot get the alignment for time together? One has to be late and one has to be early. So I will tell you about my grandson, Micah. Micah said to me when we were going to go to his hockey practice, he said, Grammy, I don't like being late. I really detest being late. I don't want you to wait for me and I don't want to wait for you. Oh, let's just do this. So we are driving on the highway and he said, no, Grammy, it's okay to be late. I said, that's what you think? He said, yeah, my mom was saying it's okay to be late. I said, okay, I guess it's okay to be late. I said, well, I don't like being late. And I like being on time. I like getting there and wait rather than be late. And he said, oh, that rhymes. I said, I am sure it does. So anyway, we get there and he believed me and we started going early because I put a carrot in front of him. I said, Mike, I bet you, if you ever get there earlier and you lace up your skates and you're ready to go on the ice, the coach is going to let you go on before it's time. He said, yeah, right, he wouldn't do that. I said, let's try it. Well, wow. This boy got 15 minutes of free skating. You think he had won the jackpot. And he said, Grammy, that was so good. I was warmed up, ready to go. I had such a good game. I said, you did? And so being on time is important. So where he got the message that being late is okay, he went back there and said, no, my Grammy does not like to be late. And she taught me not to be late because every day I had hockey practice and swimming lessons. I was there 15 minutes earlier so I can get that extra time. So you understand, you also get that extra gift. The universe will give you more if you always show up on time. God will give you more if you always show up on time. You will get a bigger piece of meat on the plate if you always show up on time. You'll get the first nice drink. You'll always show up on time. You will look better when you arrive because you had time to put yourself together because you always show up on time. And it's important to show up on time for yourself. So yes, there is nothing nice about being late. It's hard. Marie, you are amazing. Have a wonderful weekend. Being on time is so important. You think, Nancy, it is important. I love being on time. They're going to go onto the next journey. Remember the memories. It's true. You only get one chance to make a first impression. That's true. Good. Oh, that's a good one. Thanks, you, Georgie. Hi, Ezra, abundant media, abundant rising queen. I love when she comes and says those things. Arita. And sorry, I submitted. Oh no, that's okay. Don't worry about it. If you're still there, I told you that. Do not do well with late people. I don't. Hi, Georgie. We know we have to be somewhere, so be somewhere. Nancy, thank you, people. Okay, guys. I don't know. I dress in my Canada Day colors. Canada Day is Monday. I'm not sure if I'll do a Monday morning blessing. I have a funny feeling that maybe we'll do it, but I'm saying I'm not sure. It's a holiday here. I never take a holiday. So anyway, I made a promise, most likely. I still get up at 4:15. But when I got up this morning at 4:15, I was outside at 4:30. And the sky was green over there behind me. So I'm standing over here and I'm looking east. And there's a green, the whole portion of the sky was green. There's so many magical songs and all the different birds are singing. There was no wind, but the moon was there. The sun maybe was starting to get up, and it was green. I had never seen it. But again, this is what happened when you wake up early in the morning. There's always something happening in the sky that is phenomenal. So try it sometime. Just if the day you can't sleep and it's 3 o'clock, it's okay, for you to stand. There's no devil going to grab you by the tail and take you to hell. Just relax and enjoy the energy. Have a great weekend. I know on the 4th is American first of what I forgot. Anyway, July 4th is your holiday. Ours is on Monday, Canada Day. So we celebrate. On Monday afternoon, I'm going to a golf course with my friend and her family. I go every year. We have such a lovely time there. So I will see you guys on Monday. I think I'll show up. Even if I show up and I say, okay, here we are. So what are we doing for Canada Day? Have fun. And let me see who is still here with you. Hi, Nancy, Stacy, Arita, Angelina. Hello, sweetie. I didn't even realize you got here. I missed you. Hi, Georgie. Hi, Ryan, Loretta, and Londi. Georgie, your friend Londi, she told me what her name was, but I don't know. I can't remember. You have to say it again because I'm sure, unless it's Lorna. Anyway, let me know. Put it in make a comment and let me see what your name is. And have a great weekend. Stacey is celebrating it's Canadian flag. Thank you, Stacey. Lorna, you see, I thought it would be Lorna. Thank you, Lorna. It's nice to know that. Memory. Take it in. Have a great day, wonderful, amazing human beings. Talk to you guys on Monday. I'm doing this thing, Noon Vibe, which is like, whatever, Clubhouse. This lady, Ellen, she comes on sometime. She's questioning me about my book, Controlling the Debt Monster. So we did it since Monday. Today is the last day, do chapters and chapters. So I wrote the book, right, in 202. And because I had to do that with her, for the first time in a long time, I realized how great the book is. Honestly, for me to say that, I don't always do that. But for me to tell you, it's a fabulous book. I mean, it was I didn't realize how much detail. And I'm saying, so while these chapters are really short, I purposely did it that way. So the book was written so that ordinary, regular human beings that were not sophisticated in finance could understand it and change their financial life. It wasn't a bestseller. I didn't go looking for a publisher to do it. I just did it because I wanted to do it. And it's because I'm going through the book now with her. I have to read the chapter before that I realize it's a valuable little book for the person that, there's a young couple graduated with, and they have student loans, and they also have two different lives, because they're young adults, 23, and to put them together and to get them to manage the debt and everything. And then there, in the middle, there's a young man of European origin who doesn't believe in debt, pay cash for everything, and then he couldn't rent a car, so I took him and got him to understand credit. So that process is not only but a new person getting a credit card, how they should manage it. Boom. And then the third one is an entrepreneur. So we're going through these chapters, and I realize how I wrote it. And you know what hit me? And I think, I did that? So that was an eye-opening for me this week. Because when I wrote the book, I really remember just writing it. It was in a time when at the bank, they wanted us to give everybody tons of debt. Do debt. They actually told me they'll promote me so I would have to be responsible for creating debt. That's what their reason for promoting, because I hated it so much. And I knew the crash would come because it just couldn't continue. It was an insatiable appetite for debt. And it did come in 2008, and in 2009 I published it myself. And I am so happy I did. And I'm really grateful to that woman for giving me the chance to talk about it she brings it out. She took a course with me and she read the book front cover to back cover. And she was impressed with it to the point that she's telling me what she learned. But in the conversation, there are so many of the people who come on this thing that have no idea about debt and money. And she herself would say things, and then I said, no, you're wrong, because she's trying to tell me what she learned, to explain it to her. And the thing that really got so many comments is teaching people how to use a credit card, when to use your credit card, and so that you avoid paying interest. Not because you have the money to pay it off one time, but choosing the right time to use it. And that is for young people very important, So I'm glad I wrote that book. No, I can say that. So anyway, guys, my other book that's coming out on the 10th is The 5 Pillars of Prosperity. The cover is over here on the 10th of July. And then I am looking forward to that so much. So I am almost tempted to update that other book, and that's a big challenge, but you know me. So this one is coming out on the 10th of July, and we'll talk a lot about it. So have a great day, a great weekend. Love you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And somebody, Florence. Hi, Florence. I know who that is. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I did say goodbye. Juliana, I'm Nancy, Stacy, Rita, Angelina, Georgie, Ryan, Loretta, and Lorna. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.